Hey everyone, this is Vanna from DevRel at GraphGrid. Welcome to the first video of GraphGrid's tutorial series. This tutorial is all about introducing you to GraphGrid by transferring your graph data into the GraphGrid Curator Dashboard, a place where teams can create, collaborate, and share projects. Before we get started, I wanted to note that this series is based off of some existing written tutorials on the GraphGrid doc site. I highly recommend using those to follow along. You'll find a link to this particular tutorial in the video description. It's also recommended that you set up some shell variables in order to easily copy and paste each API request from the tutorial page. If you're unsure how, check out our shell variable setup video or the instructions on the doc site. Now that all of that prep is out of the way, let's get you introduced to the GraphGrid Curator Dashboard. To get to the Curator Dashboard, head over to localhost/login in your browser. You'll then need to log in to your GraphGrid account. The default login is all lowercase, GraphGrid, and the default password is the same, GraphGrid. This is the Curator Dashboard. It's where projects can be created to visualize data from your graph database. While overseeing the presentation of data, Curator integrates with other GraphGrid services such as Search and Publish to provide a fully integrated experience. The goal of this tutorial is to set up a new project within the Curator Dashboard by importing some movie data from GraphGrid's integrated graph database, ONDB. This tutorial will prepare you for the upcoming Search and Show Me tutorials that will use the same graph data. This tutorial will be done in two simple steps. First, we'll create a movie graph in our graph database, ONDB, then we'll create a project and add our data to the Curator Dashboard. We'll first need to access ONDB in our browser to add our movie graph data that we'll import to the Curator Dashboard. Head over to localhost at port 7474. If you haven't changed them yourself already, the default username is all lowercase, ONDB, and the password is all lowercase, admin. Now we can create our movie graph using ONDB's built-in dataset. Run this SQL query to bring up a guide about how to create the movie graph. We'll only be following up to the second step. This snippet is the exact SQL needed to create the movie graph data we'll be working with. Click on the snippet to paste it into the query bar and then hit the play button to create the movie graph. Once we've created the movie data in ONDB, we can head back over to the Curator Dashboard and create a new project. Let's create a project called Movie Graph. To add the movie graph data to our project, we'll first need to query the data. To do this, we'll use the Query tab and run this SQL query that returns all of the movie nodes. Once all of our movie nodes have been returned, we can hit the Add Query Results button to add them to our project workspace. Now we can interact with our movie data within the Curator project workspace. You can click the nodes to expand their relationships, and we can now interact with our person nodes as well. Now that we have a new project using movie graph data, we can learn more ways to interact with our data within the Curator Dashboard. We'll be working with our movie project more in the upcoming tutorials. Look out for the GraphGrid Search and Show Me tutorials next. In the meantime, you can head over to the GraphGrid community subreddit. There you can ask questions, discuss the platform, or chat with other members in the GraphGrid Lounge. You can also join our community on Discord to chat live about the platform, or follow us on Twitter to get notifications about new content and platform news. And last but not least, subscribe to us on YouTube. That'll conclude it for this video. Thanks for watching, and happy graphing!